music. Let's do flowers first.
that? Is it on now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right. Thank you, dear. So, I have announcements. Yay. Awesome. My announcements are as follows. This coming Sunday, obviously, we have worship at 8:15 and 10:30 with adult Bible study in the fireside room and Sunday school in between. We also have faith fellowship, and we have a Sunday school leader meeting after the second service, and we'll be probably making our final decision on whether we can do a Sunday school program this year, our Christmas program. At 3 o'clock, we have faith fellowship and football. Bring a dish to pass. Game starts at 3:30, and at 6:30, we have prospective member orientation for anyone who's looking to join Trinity officially as a member. And after that, I'm going home to sleep. So that's my Sunday. Christmas tree sales coming up. All the proceeds go to support the food pantry. And if you'd like to help unload trees, we would love to have you on Black Friday at 10 o'clock at the leader lot, just north of Commons Park. You can sign up, let us know you're coming for that online, and just go to our website, go to the tree sale, and click to sign up. If you don't sign up, we'll still take you. And the last thing that I have has slipped my mind, so I'll remember it later. There we go. The peace of Christ be with you all.
And also with you.
The first reading is from Isaiah 25, verses 6 through 9. On this mountain, the Lord of hosts will make for all peoples a feast of rich food, a feast of well-aged wines, of rich food filled with marrow, of well-aged wines strained clear. And he will destroy on this mountain the shroud that is cast over all peoples, the sheet that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death forever. Then the Lord God will wipe away the tears from all faces, and the disgrace of his people he will take away from all the earth. For the Lord has spoken. It will be said on that day, Lo, this is our God. We have waited for him so that he might save us. This is the Lord for whom we have waited. Let us be glad and rejoice in his salvation. Here ends our first reading. And the second reading from Revelation chapter 21, verses 1 through 6. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them as their God. They will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Mourning and crying and pain will be no more, for the first things have passed away. And the one who is seated on the throne said, See, I am making all things new. Also he said, Write this, for these words are trustworthy and true. Then he said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water as a gift from the spring of the water of life. Here ends our second reading. And I invite you to stand as you are available.
Say that we
Holy Gospel according to St. John, the 11th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she knelt at his feet and said to him, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who came with her also weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. He said, "Where have you laid him?" And they said to him, "Lord, come and see." And Jesus began to weep. So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not he who opened the eyes of the blind man have kept this man from dying?" Then Jesus, again greatly disturbed, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. And Jesus said, "Take away the stone." And Martha, the sister of the dead man, said, "Lord, already there is a stench, because he has been dead 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" And so they took away the stone. And Jesus looked upward and said, "Father, I thank you for having heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I have said this for the sake of the crowd standing here, so that they may believe that you sent me." When he had said this, he cried with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, his hands and feet bound with strips of cloth, and his face wrapped in a cloth. And Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Please be seated, my friends. So this is the Wednesday after All Saints Sunday, and so the readings are the All Saints Sunday readings. And so I thought that I would start with a story. There was a man, a taxi driver, and he picked up a passenger. The passenger was seated in the back, and they were on their way to the passenger's destination. And the passenger remembered something, so he sort of leaned forward, and he tapped the cab driver on the shoulder. He said, "Hey, buddy." And the cab driver screamed, like blood-curdling scream, swung the wheel back and forth, narrowly missed a truck, hopped the curb, over the sidewalk, into the yard, and just stopped just short of a plate glass window. And they both sat there in sort of stunned silence. And finally, the passenger said, "What happened? Why did you do that? I remembered something I wanted to tell you. I just tapped you on the shoulder to get your attention." And the cab driver said, "Well," said, "I'll be honest with you. This is my first day on the job driving a cab." He said, "For the last 25 years, my job has been driving a funeral coach." There we are. So, when you're driving a funeral coach, you do not expect to get a tap on the shoulder and have the person in the back ask for your attention, right? Because that line between life and death, I guess for as easy as it is at times to cross, we expect that to be a one-way crossing, right? People go from this world, from life to death, and not the other way around so very much, except occasionally in the Bible.